Pictures. Where were these taken?
Oh, these pictures? These are from my travels around the Mediterranean. This one was from Corsica. I was just floating around the water enjoying the hot summer.
But what about this one? This is a bit strange. What's that about?
Oh, this one? This photo is a photo of a group of us. We used to meet regularly for coffee and discuss what's going on in each other's lives, general issues, design. But you know, I really like this one. I actually found it powerful because we couldn't agree on a definition. We were discussing the notion of luxury and necessity and on what it meant to us personally. Actually, thinking about it, this is Marie, Ivy, and Remi were discussing whether luxury was a material or not, and got so caught in this debate that they decided to take it to the streets with a little experiment. They were wondering if they could engage with people in areas of high volume, such as the underground and Harrods, to see if displaying messages would gain a response from the audience. They decided to walk around with a panel mentioning the fact that luxury could possibly just be a simple smile. Oh, yeah, there was this one guy who made us all laugh. He looked back with curiosity, wasn't too sure what he had seen, and had to look back again. They even went to the tube with a panel and walked around with it on the escalators, trying to catch the attention of people. Some of them were paying attention to the message, while some others were caught in their daily routine. Any case, back to the story. Ian raised an interesting point that maybe we as designers had a complete different opinion on what luxury and necessity meant. And so, for instance, he thought, I know, I'll ask everyone by using social medias. I bet we can get some interesting responses. It turns out he was right. In fact, there was this one person who felt champagne was a luxury, but lager was a complete necessity. We ended up having so many words, such as having time, space, and freedom. Oh my God. I've just remembered, Ivy was calling her best friend from China Yiji. She had such an interesting view on what luxury meant to her. She was mentioning the idea that luxury in a rural area of China might simply be go to school. At this point, I had left and headed for Paris. While out there, I was intrigued to know what people in the fashion industry thought about the topic of luxury, and pulled in a favor with an old friend who happened to be a fashion PR of a Belgian fashion house. One thing I remember so strongly about it was the fact they asked me not to picture them, neither mention the brand name, because they believe to live a better life, it is best to be hidden, and that was their belief of luxury. In the end, after collecting all these different forms of opinions, we could only agree on one thing. Luxury and necessity have no set definition. It's based on personal perception and feelings.
So what are you going to do if you can't define it?
Well, even though there was not one definition, the word luxury always depends on its context. And today's context is under the influence of the world's economy, the struggle that our generation is going through. Luxury overall will become invisible, disconnected, a simple lifestyle. We discussed this thought and thought of creating some form of architectural bubble in the middle of the city, a space that allowed people to disconnect from the world and their strenuous lives. You wouldn't need to travel to some desert island, which would almost seem vulgar in the future. Oh, and imagine if you could buy like bottles of clean air from like the Himalayas. That would be such an experience. Anyway, that's why I like this photo.